Hi everyone, I'm back. Sorry I've been gone so long. I've been experiencing a block of fear of the unknown, what I'm doing. Please forgive me. I've asked for guidance. I've been working on my faith. I'm coming back. It is December 2nd, 2024. I already know who the guest is. First, I have to give the disclaimer that anything that I say here, I'm not claiming as fact. This is for entertainment purposes only. However, beings that we're receiving from the higher realms, may we find some, not only entertainment, but some fact in here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get over my butterflies and nerves and introduce our guest today. With the intention, I'm setting the intention right now to allow for him to have the stage, because I got a lot of emotions involved in the relationship with this person. But with that said, guys, here we go. I am honored and pleased and very comforted in the fact that we're bringing Nikola Tesla in today. Nikola, you're here. He says, I am my little wise one. He's showing me a little owl. He says, I confuse you not. Go ahead. See, guys, I haven't channeled it in a minute, and so please forgive me. I'm setting the intention now for a clear understanding, and you might have to speak up, Nikola. He says, I fragrance that of this honeybee who delights me in bringing me here today to speak. I am Nikola Tesla. He's saying my verbs are nouns. I don't know what that means. My verbials, my words, are not to what your eyes or your mouths sound. My documents, my literature, my writing of my words demand a redress. Here we go. Boy, this can be good. I love you. He's laughing. He's saying, your viewers don't know. They don't know of our relationship. He's calling me Andy. We shall let them know. Okay. Andrea, when you first got your ability to telepathically speak with those of us in the higher realms, although new, and he's showing me wet under my wings, I heard you. Go ahead. Andrea is trying to shove everything on the menu on the plate for everybody's eating of it. And for this we shall slow down, and we shall just put portions on the plate of a select variety of what is on the banquet, for clarity for the processing of it. was not found me by her specific intention. Rather, I was sought through her fingers scrolling her Facebook groups one evening. Prior to my delivery of any of her pleadings for me, I was aware of her. I was aware of everything she's thinking, doing, as I was aware and still am aware of everything that your viewers and everyone and all are thinking and doing. The higher realms allow us. The Christ consciousness allows us everything. However, not to dismiss her, we will continue telling our acquaintance. Andrea scrolled her Facebook pages, on her groups, and stopped at a black and white photograph. It was a picture of me. It was a black and white photograph. I was present during that photograph. As to not dismiss me, the picture depicted me sitting at a wooden table, my desk, writing he's saying a soul letter, meaning it was him and pencil on a piece of paper only. He says, as Andrea and I discussed later, this photograph was discussed with me that it would be taken, and for it we will make no. But the calling for me, when Andrea saw the photograph, Andrea called for me. Her ego called for me, as she likes to say, for the gratitude and the showing off of what she could do. She asked me, Nikola, what were you writing in that letter? What was that? Will you please share it with the group? And of course, I complied. Andrea typed, as I verbalized to her what that letter said, and it was a letter to my mother. By the end of the letter, Andrea had found herself having cried. For not only did I recite the words of the letter, but I brought her with me through all of the feelings and everything I was going through when I was writing that letter to my mother. When it was over, yes, we finished with Andrea sending the comment to the group underneath the picture of me writing in my study. Andrea, you never went back to the group, and that holds true still today. It does. I didn't go back. Andrea, the value in that shall elude us on behalf of your ego's sake. And he's all, Andrea, don't explain. Andrea's ego was short-lived. He's saying not even left a hair on the stake. For her coming back to me, her valuing my time spent commenting for her. Nearly 2 months later, Andrea, do you recall the moment? I do recall the moment, Tesla. Andrea, please share. Well, Nicola, I had thought about that. That letter was so. I just felt everything you were going through, and it was so personal to your mom. And I was thinking, if Nicola, out of thanks, out of gratitude, and sincerity for what he was going through, sorry, I asked him, Nicola. I came back to him like almost. It was almost 2 months later. Nicola, are you there? Yeah, he said he's there. Is there anything that I can write for you? I can be your scribe. With my free time, is there anything that I can do for you? He said, and my thesis was born. My thesis from the grave, titled The Christ Consciousness, was born via Andrea's fingertips. A celebration to be had, because he's feeling how long did we work on that? My gift was new, and I didn't want to make one typing error, which caused a lot of chaos. To be fair, my fair maiden, we did well. For you to scribe, for me, a foundation, a beginning, a thesis. Go ahead. It still adored me from the higher realms, and it always will be. Andrea, you will set a link, a posting below, of Nikola Tesla's thesis from the grave, the Christ consciousness. You'll set a link under this video for them to read. Will you not? Of course I will. Andrea, my thesis from the grave. It was all telling. It was all captivating and all telling about what subject. It was about the Christ consciousness. The subject was after death. Correct? He says, although not a student, you know very well that that's what it was. I have laid upon the desks within my lifetime, my one lifetime, 46 of my own thesis is upon the desks at my university. And to be given back, to be laid back upon me, not one. I was scrutinized for my thesis's authenticity, to the point of being accused and told that I had plagiarized my works 46 times. Andrea, of the 46 theses that Nikola Tesla wrote during his, he's saying internship, during his my lifetime involved with the universities. He's saying university. 46 theses left my hand. Being entered as my work for the notoriety, for the recognition of it, for the university receiving of it from me, and yet not one handed back with the receipt of acknowledgement that I wrote it. Andrea's looking at the time. Andrea, for the fact that I am Nikola Tesla and I have something to say, and it may bear weight upon the time, let the time go in your mind, please. For my telling, for my, you see, my documenting, his testimony be recorded by way of those hearing it. I'm sorry guys, I know this story and it's absolutely so heartbreaking, but it does need to be told. There's so many things that Nikola Tesla knows that history's lied about. Can we, Nikola, I know that you're in charge of this, but can we do some quick, if I wasn't Nikola Tesla, I wouldn't know this. Can we establish within the viewers that you are who you say you are with facts? I'm smiling because I know he's gonna, and I know which ones they are. Andrew, we shall consume more video that way. Allow me to lead. Very well. Tesla, go ahead. Andrea, I alone wrote within my study the volume adding up to be 46 separate theses that I hand-delivered administration at the university for recognition, for receipt and recognition of all of my work. A lifetime of work went into 46 theses. Andrea, our thesis that we wrote took only a matter of 2 months. And it was not by any means the measure of the theses that I turned in to university by my hand. Go ahead. When I wrote your first one, go ahead. You need to start a word with F or L for first or last. Andrea, the loving. Okay. When I wrote my last thesis, I was bound and determined not to care whether it, I got credit for it or not. My inner knowing and of all the exercises that I've witnessed prior, the 45 that he's turned in and been denied and accused of plagiarism, for me the value was not in the merit of it. For me, the value to be gained and the merit within it would be for the human race, for my population, for my humankind, with my name even erased. As long as the information was received and it benefited the human race, then I was still Nikola Tesla. My intention was still the same. And no matter how many of my theses went to print with the erasing and changing of my name, my information, my collected knowledge for my human race would be born and delivered you upon its publication. Nikola, he says, Andrea, stop. Well, I'm getting sentimental. Nikola, tell me about your brother real quick. I'm going to interrupt. This is something that is not known. Anybody about Nikola Tesla, correct? Andrea, I was Austrian born. My mother, having had the two of us boys. Nikola Tesla had a brother. He was younger, right? He, yes, by 3 years, was younger. Upon entering the States, or the United States, from Austria, or my father set sail abroad. Wow. My brother and I yielded back with our mother. Her time came for to go without him returning, and for our good lives ahead, she sent for our entering the United States. We were young enough for her carriage of us without more document. In other words, she, as a single parent, as only the mother, could cross the border without prior consent from father or right, hon? Our international passage had become at the time great for my mother for the gates opening. In other words, she took it. She took the chance. Why she had it? While it was good, and she brought Nikola and his little brother to the United States. We entered in at the East Coast. Okay. Chicago. I think isn't that where you stayed pretty much. And we will lend to what to the unknown things about Nikola Tesla. As Andrea wrote in my thesis, we would spare her fingers and take a break. And she will note now the significance of what I told her. That is in the archives. It is in the medical what? The medical journals in the university. Saying universities this time. As claiming the person, okay, in the medical journals, in all of the universities, all the medical journals, his little brother holds the record. To date, right? Still to date. Yes, he says, as the highest fever of a living person to ever have been not achieved but held. Typhoid. He's saying typhoid. His little brother became ill with the typhoid disease, or it was to take his life, typhoid. However, prior to his death, he survived to reach a temperature of 108 degrees Fahrenheit. 108 is the highest recorded in the medical journals ever, a human being alive. He said that record took my brother's life. Upon recording of it, shortly after he achieved being alive at 108 degrees temperature, he died. Nikola, you swear that this is a true testament? Of course, I do, as it is my true experience. It's what he knows. So, for all of us that who knew, I have, when I started with you, Tesla, I tried to access the medical journals in the universities. Good luck with that. I don't know what I'm doing, and I self-sabotage really quick. If I'm not getting anywhere, I quit. Sorry. He says, Andrew, it is long known to only if one, he's saying, this medical miracle. But why, though? I mean, why wouldn't we know that? Why? What is the harm in knowing that, Tesla? Andrea, the harm in knowing Tesla forbids them allowing for what you're knowing of me. So to start out with honesty would mean that you would have to end with it. Andrea, upon looking back on the life, on the back, on my back, not much was true outside of my own writings that was written or said about me, claimed of me. So the only thing true about Nikola Tesla that you read, he says, are my writings. He's saying with the notes in between to be dispelled. Go ahead. Andrea, for my audience, for my captors, for those that are listening, for those that are believing that I'm Nikola Tesla, for my rolling up of my sleeves, for a clear seeing of my having no aces, it's still clouded due to the non-rolling of the other sleeves that submit my work or co-sign my work or publish my work or validate my work. "46 theses alive." Nikola Tesla, I did submit to university in person while alive. Every single one of them taken, never handed back to me and denied. Taken for the value of what was within them, the value, the truth, the information that each one provided within it. Never one handed back. Every 46 theses were kept, taken from me with a return of. My name being stricken from being the creator, the writer of them. Plagiarism. The ridicule brought on by the dishonesty of it. The ridicule of being claimed dishonest. Shamed he's saying for the numbers of times that it was done. His spirit, his soul. He says, my dying relieved me of one thing. And that was the dishonoring of his name that continued repeatedly over and over throughout his life. Tesla, we know of the 46 theses that you turn in, I know that while we were, it's not in your thesis because we did a short one, but we discussed it. Albert Einstein took over the theory of relativity. That he was to claim the Pulitzer Prize, or he was to be renowned and known for the theory of relativity. Andrea will go back upon my shelves of my memories to the universities where my theory was taught in classes at the university. And yet Albert Einstein was not capable of instructing one class on the theory of relativity due his not understanding of it. This can be checked. This can be checked. Although I was undersuited, the claiming of my own work, was and did fill the position of professor in the classroom to teach my theory of relativity. And I had no problem teaching my own theory. It was requested after several years that he be removed from doing that. Andrea, your guiding is due noted. He can hear all my thinkings. And I'm trying to lead where he goes with this. But he's going to tell me, let me do this. Yeah, but these are the things that people are most thirsty to hear. And now he's going, Andrea, that's not my junk. And he's reminding me, we'll talk about that. That's not my junk. I remember when the Tesla car came out, and I was like, I've already gotten to know Tesla, and he's like, that's not my junk. Go ahead, Tesla. Andrea, those Tesla cars merit me in only one way, and that was for the purchasing of the use of my name, the patent use of my name for that junk be called. What another shame to Tesla. How rude, huh? Andrea, rude goes beyond the history's walls. Anything that the history could mark could not be deep enough to inscribe the rudeness, the miscarriage of true ownership, and that of justice as to my intention for all that has been withheld me, being for my fellow man, my human race. Say my fellow man. Andrea, I dispel before you and your curtain. He's saying, end this recording. I dispel upon you my truth. My truth in for your knowing, for your belief in me as Nikola Tesla. The very center, the very spirit, the first spark of my fire. Okay, now he's going to say where he... This is the right part again. Go ahead, Nikola. Andrea, the truth in my fire. And he's showing me a wire, a connection from his mind to the higher truths, to the higher realms, which is where he's at and I'm connecting with. I did value the encasing of that connection. Why did you say encasing? For it was such a forward mark. It was such a hot striking that it need be blessed with a casing around it for protection. As for no misfiring. Andrea, I urge you to be gallant, for your galleons, and you're triumphing over all the hurdles placed before you and truth. For it is dismal. I trust for you to believe me along the way, for all of the barriers be found in place to obstruct you, and truth finding its way to say, in truth being known. Tesla, little one, he says, we will ignite, he's saying, we will ignite the fires within the hearts of those who deem the truth to matter at all. Truth be fire, warmed and fanned within the hearts of us. He's saying with many of us gathered, and for it to be a collective desire will burn brighter than anything else, that they might put in place of our fire artificial light. It's deep, guys. This is heavy. Nikola Tesla. Andrea, he's saying, I admire your whimsical ways, and for them I shall retreat my serious scientific ones. I'm not closing you out. I'm not closing you out. I'm satisfied. I know there's scholars out there though. Andrea, we will be true to what you and I attempted by telling it. Okay. For your viewers, Andrea, upon meeting Andrea and during our getting together and writing my thesis. We got to know each other and we had some spare time. I suggested to Andrea that we join some Nikola Tesla groups in hopes that one of the so many that love me would find me to be true. In other words, okay, so what we did was we made a profile. It couldn't even use Nikola Tesla. It had been used so many times. So I wrote his first name backwards and then Tesla, and Facebook allowed me to create a profile. And we joined groups, Nikola Tesla groups. Some of them had up to 500,000 members. So we joined these groups and we introduced with our first opening comment words from Nikola, which were, I introduced myself. I told my fans, my loving, loving supporters in every group, that I am he from the grave, and that I am seeking for the help of those in honor of me, in proving that I am who I say I am. I was dismissed. We were, he's saying we were, again, accused of plagiarism. We were laughed out of every group. Were we not, Andrea? We were. And for that little one, he's patting me and he's hugging me. Thank you for the going through with that and the time and the effort and the disappointment every time. Not one person out of 500,000 messaged us and said, Nikola, if this is you, I am so willing to help validate you for being here, present, and from the grave. Not one. That was pretty disheartening. It really was. It goes to show that. And the thing is that what they really had was Nikola Tesla. Their idol, right? The one person they choose to admire and adore so much in his death as to become part of, create a group of 500,000 members to discuss his works, his knowledge, and to debate about it. But not one of them. Not one. Listen to him when he spoke. Wouldn't even allow him an opportunity to validate and prove that he was who he claimed to be. That was interesting, huh? Andrea, for my marking upon so many chests that are true and loyal to me. He says it's blasphemy. And also true to the telling of his history. It's just the way it is with Tesla. Nothing can be validated or given him as his. He's saying your markings along your wall. Go ahead. Are true to the tales of your forage, of what you gather for. Yeah. He says, I shall remain intact for the manifesting of these. He's talking about, I have a picture wall behind my screen right now. And I print out pictures of what my life is to be. Like my book, Amazon's best-selling. I have that up there. My YouTube's 500,000 subscribers. I have many of the missing. I have pictures of them being found, unburied. Um, yeah, history, correcting history. Um, for all of the deaths of the soldiers and the American Indians that were falsified, correcting the history's record. He says, as you do with me right now, Andrea. I am Nikola Tesla. I do reside in the higher realms. My destiny had forsaken me, and yet the truth still, it still resides within him. The truth is, go ahead, Nikola. The value of the truth, be it never change. Regardless of what transpires or is laid upon it, it does not change what is true. And the value for me and you to find what is true shall mean heartache at the depths of which it's buried. But it still remains true. My heart is so touched. There's so much meaning in what it means for him to be here. Andrea, be sure to post the link to my thesis from the grave, where I will explain what it is to be in the Christ conscious. And that is true. Thank you. He's out, guys. That was intense. That was so heavy. Nikola Tesla had a brother, and he still holds the record in the medical journals for the highest fever of a living being. And it was typhoid. Anyways, and that's just for those that refuse to believe that that was Nikola Tesla. Thanks, guys. See you next time.